Hey everyone, you're listening to 4Player Podcast, a weekly live show about video games. We hope you'll stick around for another year of gaming discussion, fantasy critic hijinks, and of course, general shenanigans here at 4Player. Before we start this episode, we want to send a thank you out to everyone who listens and give a quick welcome to any newbies. I'll try to keep this short because this is, and always will be, an ad-free show. We've been at this since 2008, so if you like what we do, please subscribe and leave a review on your preferred podcast service. Join us in our Discord at discord.gg/4player, or, if you're so inclined, throw us a couple bucks a month on Patreon. We record these episodes live every Tuesday night on twitch.tv/4playerpodcast, all spelled out, and episodes hit podcast services on Friday morning. You can find all the links you need at 4playernetwork.com. But enough about that, let's get started. Alright, hey everyone, welcome to 4Player Podcast. This is episode 825, I believe.
No.
What?
They can't do it again. Paddington in
They're
Peru.
doing another Paddington?
I didn't even know this existed. Paddington to Peru is another like 99%er. What's going on here?
Okay.
You can't keep getting away with it.
Let me tell you something, and you're gonna think I'm crazy. That guy also did the Timothée Chalamet Wonka movie. I watched that movie. It's not gonna blow your socks off. It's way better than it should be. Like that's what I've heard. Kind of good. It's kind of good.
The guy's got skills, is what you're saying.
It's weird. Timothée Chalamet is a fucking weirdo. I love it. I mean,
I love how this intro is
the sauce.
Sorry, I'm not watching that new Paddington movie. They recast Sally Hawkins. Like, fuck off.
I hate you so much.
Oh, hey Nick, how's it going today?
It was going great until you derailed my intro.
You gonna talk about metaphor today?
I don't think you want me to talk about metaphor.
Oh, I so badly want you to talk about metaphor.
No, you don't. We've talked about metaphor before, and I'm like balls deep in metaphor, and I'm gonna finish it soon. We'll just leave it at that. Can I finish the intro real quick? Because this is like all over the place. Anyway, I just wanted to say I'm Nick. I'm the host. Brad's here. Hello, Brad.
Yeah, what's up?
Crispy's
Hello.
here. Chris Davis.
Hi.
He's taking a sip of his drink. Oh man. All right.
I just don't recast Sally Hawkins. What are you doing? Just don't do that.
Is Paddington one of those movies I should make an effort to actually see?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, like at least the second one. At least the second one.
It's just one of those things where it's like, it's not that I don't believe people when they say it's like really good. It's just like,
you can't imagine it.
They're all.
I can't really imagine it, and I don't feel like I'm curious enough to like really find out why.
You can't do it to me again, Nick. Don't. Good. There will be blood. Paddington 2 to me. I can't. I can't deal with it, man.
Okay.
Did you watch Grand Budapest Hotel?
Yeah, it's basically just that.
I have not seen Grand Budapest Hotel, even though strangely enough, I own that film.
You don't have to offer that information.
No, I'm just saying, like I actually like bought that. I saw it and so I was like, oh, I've been meaning to watch that, and I bought it.
Dude, that has
never watched it. It's just
that has become a comfort movie for me. I've watched it so many fucking times.
Very, very good film. Highly recommend.
Pedro Pascal said Paddington 2 is the best film of all time.
Dude, what the fuck, Nick? That was your award. That was your award for our podcast awards. Our like, our own personalized award.
Oh yeah.
Your award should have been, I have it on my shelf right here. My favorite game I'll never play.
It is accurate, but I mean, like, I don't usually say it about movies. That's my point.
Yeah, I know. Well,
I don't usually say it about movies. But yeah. Anyways, I feel like it's been a couple weeks since we did a podcast. What did we do last week? I don't even remember, guys.
We did trailers.
Oh yeah, we just watched trailers. Like time means nothing to me at the moment. I feel like I'm so distracted. I feel like it's been so long since I've done a podcast. It's almost like I don't even remember how to fucking do this. But yeah, we're gonna get back into it. We're gonna get back on the video game horse this week. I know we're gonna be talking about some Come Deliverance 2, right? And
fuck yeah, dude.
I can't wait.
Lonely Mountains Snow Riders, I believe is the title, right, Brad?
I think so.
Did I get that right? Yep. Hell yeah.
And the Lonely Mountain franchise, yes, the new game, the new entry.
Gotcha. Among other things, I don't know, Crispy's also up to his neck in another Yakuza game that you've never played before, right? Your first. This
Yeah.
is your first time playing it.
Well,
Like a
yeah.
Dragon.
The one I'm gonna talk about though is the one I finished.
Oh, that you finished Like a Dragon.
Yakuza 7 or Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Oh, so you just started Infinite Wealth? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah. I
Ah,
started
okay,
Infinite Wealth like 2 days ago. Or 3
I
days
had
ago.
that backwards. But anyway,
and it's already incredible, by the way. But I'm not really gonna be talking about it.
Gotcha. Well, we are interested to hear what you're gonna say about Like a Dragon. I do want to quickly shout out there, guys. We're it's we're dragging our feet a little bit with Game of the Year stuff, but in our defense, Chris Davis did just move into a new home.
No, shut the fuck up.
No you fuck off, Brad.
No, these goddamn excuses. You fucking stop it. We've all moved into new homes. Our life doesn't grind to a fucking hole. You stop it.
He built this home with his bare hands, all right?
Might as well have.
Please.
Might as well have.
But he did just send over the first proof of our intro for the videos this evening. So progress is coming along.
I think the logos maybe hangs out on the screen a little too long. I kind of just want to look at the footage, but it's okay. I approve. I say thumbs up.
This
Cut
is
the
a great.
check.
This is the check. This is a great place to provide feedback. We'll talk about that later. Anyways, my point is. Our Game of the Year videos, I know we're a month and a half into 2025, but pretty soon you'll find out what our favorite games of 2024 were. And you know what? I'm okay with that. This is chill, relaxed, feet kicked up, enjoying life 4-player. That's the era we are in. So you'll get it when you get it. Wait, what?
I already posted my list. So
Krispy is a simple man.
So
he posts...
I'm like I'm doing a lot better on delivering promises I didn't even make.
That's true.
Than these guys.
If you're curious, he posted his list in our Game of the Year channel in our Discord at discord.gg/4player. But you can expect videos from myself, Brad, and Chris.
I recorded audio for 3 different videos.
Yeah, which makes me there's like 2 or 3 games that I was like, it was killing me not putting on my top 10. And sometimes I'm just like, maybe I should just pull a Brad and just be like, do a top 13. Fuck it.
I didn't do a top 13. I know,
but like
top 10 underappreciated games of the year, and top 10 games from UFO 50.
See, yeah, and that basically clears up. Well, actually, I'm curious. This is just a genuine question I have now. If you made a top 10 games from UFO 50, does that mean you didn't put UFO 50 on your top 10 games of the year?
No. What do you mean? That's not what that means. I put UFO 50 on my top 10 list. I put 10 games, my 10 favorite games from UFO 50 as a separate video.
It's a lot of UFO 50.
Well, you should have said
there's a lot of UFO
watch to find out.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Ignore everything you just heard. You'll have to watch to find out. We'll have those videos. I will say
there are some major games that are not on my top 10 list. And I will say you probably think they are. At the end of my number 2, in minute 48 of my video, probably roughly, that's a guess. I spoil what's not going to be my number 1, and you will be shocked. You will be shocked.
That is all right. That's
because you're going to be thinking, well, surely
I'm here.
It's going to be next, and then you're like, surely it's going to be next, and then it's just not going to show up. And then you're going to be shaking your fists for the rest of the video.
But then he went
the last 12 minutes
with a bajillion ads for every.
But then he went and he put that game that you were expecting on his top 10 most underappreciated games.
Did
so
not,
he still talks
because
about
these are not underappreciated games. They're
complete
overglazed games.
Overglazed? That's I don't think I've ever heard that.
Well, that's just because you're not very online, Nick.
That's good.
That's good.
No, you played all 50 of the UFO 50 games, right?
Yes, I am so not online anymore that I deleted my Twitter.
Someone did a
it's gone.
Well, I think your problem is all you had was a Twitter, really. You know, I should have done. I was thinking about doing my top 10 or my game of the year as a tier list.
As a what?
As a tier list.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, the
Chris Davis, would you have been able to throw that together? I mean, I guess you don't even have to. It's just a video of me doing the tier list.
I mean,
with gameplay footage. You would have to splice in gameplay footage.
I mean, we could work on something.
Because I played like 30 games or something. I could have ranked all 30 into tiers.
Chris Davis is never going to get back to the point where he can actually just sit back and play video games.
He finished Dino Crisis.
What am I talking about?
For the
Chris
first
Davis has played so much more this year than I have. Anyways, guys, we are just droning on. Let's get into it. Let's dive into it. Let's talk about video games. Let's talk about what's new. And Brad, you're going to be happy to hear this. You are not being relegated to the second segment this week. We're starting with your game.
Oh, it's because I don't have an ugly game. Well, I do, but you're just going to make the ugly game go in the second segment, right?
Correct.
Actually,
Correct.
I'd argue that the most beautiful game we're talking about this week is my segment B game, Nick.
Yeah, but the thing is that this is
the
a
way
European
the cookie crumbles.
Game. This is the perfect thing for Nick. So,
you motherfucker.
But just FYI to all of my 4-player staff fam here, and I posted this last night. I did pick up Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 on Steam, so that means y'all have access to it now. So play away. Play away.
I mean, I got it on PS5, but thanks. Okay, so that's what you want to start with. I'm a little confused. I don't know which one you want to start with, Nick.
I want to start with Kingdom Come Deliverance 2.
We're rolling footage for
Mountains, Snow Riders, if you like.
Roll that Kingdom Come. Look at it, it's a horse.
Yeah, it is a horse. So I've been playing some Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. You know, the hype said this one's. I mean, honestly, I have the first one on my shelf back there.
Shut the fuck up.
I always meant to play it, but I never got around to it just because that's how life works, I suppose. And that one was a buggy trash. It's only a 72 on Metacritic. This one is the real deal. Actually, I think I heard some like Kingdom Come Deliverance, like faithful saying like, yo, fuck that new mainstream one. We like the old janky one more.
Well, there's all that you could say that about anything that follows this pattern, right? Anything where the first one is kind of like niche and like kind of a mess to the second one being a much more polished thing. Like there's always gonna be the group of people that are like, oh, the first one's really the better one. You know
I mean,
there's probably still people out there who say The Witcher 1 is like the best Witcher game ever made.
Yeah, well, they're not that different, I don't think. I mean, this one is more polished.
This looks like one.
Yeah, I mean, it is a sequel to one, I think, from what I understand. But I didn't play one, so Krispy could fill in the differences, I suppose. This is like a medieval, like a life sim, but with a heavy emphasis on story as well. Open world, like that. They're Elder Scrolls. You've played an Elder Scrolls, right? Imagine an Elder Scrolls game, but no fantasy, and just like medieval Bohemia, medieval simulator, if you will.
Oh my god,
just kind of like a dude. You're not like a medieval.
That status
general,
bar is even fucking Elder Scrolls. Holy shit!
Status
bar.
Look,
I have
a
general question before we get too far into this. Just kind of like 10,000 foot view. Like, what is like the major difference between this one and the first one? Like, is the first one like not open? Like, is it structured differently, or are they both open world games like this, and one's just more polished?
It's not even that much more. I mean, the first one just launched in a pretty crappy state, and this one didn't. That's the big difference.
I guess that probably makes a huge difference.
I mean, the first game was a Kickstarter project.
It is amazing what can happen when you actually take the time to cook and not release your game before it's done.
But the first game also, like, it overpromised and underdelivered on its actual content. It released stuff as DLC that I feel is kind of problematic. Shouldn't be like that.
Scotch is in chat already running his fucking mouth. I'm role playing over here as a struggling, man, common everyman in a medieval society, and he's over here criticizing my build. Look, I'm just living. I'm living a life, you dumb shit.
Hasn't Henry been knighted?
He's literally talking about my diet in chat. He's talking about my nutrition. It's fucked up.
Well, how's your nutrition?
Well, is he a knight? He fell off a cliff, and they kind of like Metroided him. He can read.
Oh,
right? In the first game,
how to be a knight.
Well, he got fucked up, and you lost everything. So you kind of starting from the bottom.
Not my boy Henry.
But he knows how to read. In the first game, you don't even know how to read.
What about his boyfriend from the first game? Is he still around?
Who?
Sir
Hans. Hans, yeah, Hans is around.
Hans, is that what it was?
Hans Capon? Is that who we're talking about?
Oh, Capon, yeah.
You start the game with him. You're delivering a message to some other fucking lord a message of
Aw.
peace, but then shit goes awry, as shit does,
Aw.
in realistic medieval Bohemia, I suppose.
Man.
You know, what do you what do you want to know, Nick? The boobs
Why are
are
you looking
large and they have a black person now. Ask me anything.
I mean, that's all I need to know. So,
Okay.
what?
It's okay. It's like an Elder Scrolls game, meaning it is a very like, I think maybe more like Morrowind or something than like, you know, Skyrim or whatever. But it's like an open world, like systems driven Elder Scrolls game, kind of like RPG, where you can like steal shit, but you got to make sure no one's watching and or catches you, you know, or you know, you sneaking around and trying to lock pick doors, you know, at night, or you're like the more you sword fight, the better at sword fighting you'll get, you know, like
It sounds legit. I like that.
yeah. I mean, it's like that sort of thing, right? Except you're not just like sword fighting and sneak, and like if you sneak around a lot, your sneak score will go up, kind of like in an Elder Scrolls game. So it's that type of open world RPG, and there's lots of like mechanics where, you know how in like Skyrim you can go and just like fucking make daggers or whatever and like sell them or whatever, like you can do that, except those systems are like a lot more like involved, you know. This is more about like, this is as much about the quiet moments, the slow moments of living life as a medieval you know,
Dirt farmer.
every man or whatever, right? So like the actual like act of like sharpening your sword can like take a long time, at least at first, until you get good at it. Like the system for like alchemy, the system for alchemy is like, it's so long and involved, and it's like this could be a game.
You were
in and of
talking
itself.
about this. You were talking about this last. You said it like takes 10 minutes to like mix a potion.
I don't do that because I just steal shit. Which like I feel like, you know,
that's how the real world is.
I mean, capitalism got me down. It was easier to just steal shit than make a fucking potion and sell a potion.
Dude, hell yeah, bro.
Yeah, I don't even. At first, I was like, oh, I gotta find some fucking lock picks so I can like pick some locks. But no, I just wait till the person who owns the establishment goes to sleep, pickpocket the key out of his pocket in the middle of the night, and just steal everything. I literally
would actually go one step further and murder them.
Rob the entire fucking house like I'm a fucking wet bandit. And I just leave with everything. And I go to another town and I put it all in a chest and I wait for no one to care about that shit anymore. And then I sell it all. God. And that's way better than like,
this is who Brad is as a person if he lived in medieval Europe.
Because it's like, it doesn't make sense. Like, it's too hard to like make money the other way. It's too long and the hard work. It's like, I'd like to take the easy way out.
How did society not fall to pieces in this
if you were honest, this game would just be about farming, you know?
And all these fucking idiots are like, oh, I do it the honest way because the stats to my sword are better. I'm like, shut the fuck up. You're stealing shit too. You're making little quick saves and reloading over and over again so you can pickpocket the thing you want. Don't bullshit me. These fucking virtue signaling assholes. I'm telling you, everyone is save scumming in this shit because you can die in 2 seconds. And like, so like they have a save system that is like, you know, you can only hard save if you have an item that lets you hard save, right?
Oh,
like
the
fucking ink ribbons. You have to make some ink ribbons or
hell yeah,
or craft some ink
marigold
ribbons.
Or whatever.
And like I was all aboard. I was like, oh, punishing save system. All right, I finally got a recipe to make a save potion that lets me save the game. And I look in my little notebook, you know, and I'm like, oh, I just need 5 different herbs, of which I have none of. You know, I'm filled to the brim with herbs in my pockets, but none of them are the herbs that I need. So I can wander into the forest looking for this shit, or I can just like steal a bunch of shit. So I'm just going to steal a bunch of shit because that's horse shit. And literally, when you steal shit, you often steal the save potion that you need to save your fucking game. I don't know. It's a nice system. And
you'll get yours one day.
But like, they don't commit. Right? They don't commit to them. They're like, well, you need this potion to save, or you can spend money to sleep in a good bed in an inn, and you could do a hard save that way. Or you can just save and exit, and it takes 2 seconds, and you create a save as many times as you want, which is what I do, which is kind of breaks the system. Like, if you're going to do it, you need to commit to the bit instead of letting me
I feel like I'm just going to commit. I'm just going to role play. Like, you know what I mean?
But like, it's not worth it, man. It's not worth it. Yeah, I'm going full Chris Davis. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm playing on PlayStation 5. I have no mods. There's no fucking mods. You literally hit save and exit, and it's instantaneous. You load up the game. You load up the game, and it just reloads like instantly. You just create a save when you do that. You just go back to the menu and load back in, and you have a save. So like, I don't understand why they let you do that. I thought when I heard about it that it was like a temporary save. Like when you loaded the game, the save goes away. You know how like a suspend save, but no, it's not.
Yeah.
It remembers the save, which it's just kind of like, I don't know. So I get into a hard combat encounter, and I feel like my hand was forced because I fought these dudes. And then my game crashed because, there's still a little bit of that in here, right? My game crashed. And I'm like, I just fought 4 dudes and it was really hard. And I got all their shit and I was excited. And I was going to go back to an inn and go to sleep. And my game crashed. So I'm like, okay, well, I got to beat these guys again. So I created a save and I'm like, oh, well, I guess maybe I got lucky this time. And I'm just a little bitch everyman. And they're way better than me. They have better armor because, you're poor and your armor's not that good. So you're like struggling, and you're fighting dudes with good armor. And it's like, well, this is kind of hard to beat them. And it's just funny because I had already killed them, but in the attempt to recapture my crash save, my progress, I had to fight them like 30 more times until I killed them. And I was like literally like killing one of them, running away, hiding, saving the game again.
Is that just a symptom of like you being early in the game? Like, do you feel like
well, yeah,
is there
early
like
in the game you're like not good, right? Because all your stats, you get better the more you do things, right? And the better you get, better armor, you get better weapons. Like you start with nothing and you feel that, right? Like it's really easy to get fucked up. Later on in the game, you just are just better at things, or you learn the really overpowered Master Strike ability, which completely breaks the game. But I don't know. Sanji over here probably doesn't even use Master Strike because he's an honest gamer. I don't know.
Sanji is in chat critiquing Brad's choices.
He's like, no. In the sequel, you get like multiple potions every time you brew a potion. Bitch, still easier to steal shit. Don't give me that.
I do think it is kind of insane that your strategy.
There is no combat in this trailer, but in this footage, by the way, if you're hoping, I can't wait for Brad to fight some stuff so I can learn about the combat system. This game is not about fighting dudes. This game is about living in that world. In Elder Scrolls, you're like, oh, well, I need some combat footage. I'm just going to head out into the wilderness and get into some fights with some shit. You head out into the wilderness in this game, you might not find anybody for like an hour. So it's like I can't just head out in a direction and fight people.
That shit?
No, like it's not weird at all. Everyone loves that shit. This shit got an 89, dude.
Okay,
the people changed. The people were ready.
Just the way you said it made it sound like it was a maybe kind of. No,
I'm pointing out the differences. Like this is not like a combat game as so much as a live in the world game and do this shit. But like
simulationist.
It's good. It's charming. It's funny. Like you meet like memorable characters, and you would think that since they're all just everyone you interact, 99% of the people you interact with are just white men because the director really wants it that way. But it's fine because like you would think that that would be boring and get tired after a while. But no, there's some memorable white men in there. For sure, dude. Like there's some kooky white men out there.
White boy, you all right?
Yeah. So I don't know. It's like you get into funny quests and there's good side quests. Nick, I will say, I know what you like about Red Dead. You can just kind of wander into a direction and maybe stumble into some stuff that you want to see. It's all feels very well done in that way. By the way, look at my outfit. Like one of the new things that this one has is you have like outfit loadouts. And the reason you want to have that is because one of the things that I guess is pretty unique about Kingdom Come Deliverance is that your appearance and your like if you're covered in shit in or dirt and blood, and you are like starving and you wander up into a town and start asking questions, they're gonna be like, get the fuck away from me, dude. You stink. like I'm not gonna do anything. And everything you say is just like bad reputation down. You literally have to go like rinse yourself off. You have to go to like a whorehouse to get them to wash your clothes and stuff. they don't call
A
it
bathhouse.
Bathhouse, sorry.
Jesus Christ, Brad.
Take a bath. Well, you know, they do have whores who wash your clothes. Look, man, this is how
God.
the director wants me to talk about these women. What do you want me to say? No, I'm kidding. Look, I'm saying you also have clothing that is like more respectable, which just so happens to be this silly little outfit I'm wearing. So when I go into a town, I'll like go to the horse trough and like wash myself off, and then put on my nice clothes. But the problem is you can't change your like loadouts in combat. So I'll get into like, I'm like, all right, I'm finally going to do a combat encounter. This man wants to fight me. I stumble into a dude, a random event as I'm fast traveling. And he's like, would you like to fight me? And I'm like, sure, I need combat footage, but I'm wearing my stupid fucking like, you know, charisma outfit. And he just fucks me up like instantly. Yeah. I'm wearing my little jester costume and he just fucks me up. And I'm like, but I can't even change my outfit. And he doesn't even give me a chance. He just punches me in the face and I'm just dead. So I don't know. I can't. Yeah, you can't cheese it. You can't cheese it.
Let me change my
Motherfucker's
clothes
reloading
real
his
quick.
save. He
I saw
reloads
somebody-
a save, changes to his armor, saves again.
I saw somebody on Blue Sky who posted about this. They said something like this game like literally starts with, I bet you're wondering how I got here. Is that accurate? Is that like really like how the story kicks off in this game?
No, not really.
What is the tone of this of like the story
It
of this game?
is
Is
like-
it supposed to be like goofy or
No, but like he's inherently a kind of a goofy dude because he's just an everyman, and there's lots of like nobles around, and you know his best homie is like a noble dude who kind of like is like talks like a noble, like you know,
Hey,
he's
like he was a real fucking prick when they met too.
he definitely
Like,
thinks he's better than you, but you're still like homies, you know, because you're like his bodyguard.
you like saved his life a couple times.
Yeah, but like, and you're just kind of a doofus. I don't know, but you mean, you know, he's like the medieval Bohemian Kiryu kind of, you know.
only I got
he's-
that reference.
He's kind of a he's a doofus with the heart of gold, I feel like. And now he knows how to read. Kiryu,
Yeah.
who knows?
Which was a problem.
But it's good. It's good because like that type of game is good. Like a very systems driven RPG that's very open ended. Just kind of do what you want. You know, it's like if you can't really
there is
compare
a
it to Elder
story
Scrolls.
being told. There is like a
of course, like it's a
through line,
there's a very like cinematic, like well told, like this is a very story driven game, but it also when you get away from the story, you can kind of freely explore, but a lot of the content of the game is like scripted story driven stuff.
Yeah.
It's not, this ain't like a open, like it's not like a survival game or a sim or anything. It's you're meeting characters, and then when you're in the main story, it can be quite linear and cinematic, but like it's all well done, like surprisingly well done. It's just kind of top notch all around. It's just, it's philosophically like philosophically the opposite of something like Dragon Age the Veilguard. Like, can you, so there's like Dragon Age news, right? You know, they shut down the Dragon Age team, and they're all, and BioWare is just a single less than 100-person team studio now, and EA is probably like has their finger over the button right now to shut down BioWare as soon as Mass Effect ships. That's the reality. And EA even came out and said, well, Veilguard, we made the game you said you wanted, and it didn't do shit. So I guess we're just gonna make
no, they
multiplayer
did not
games now.
make the game we wanted, because the game that they put out was a rehashed attempt at saving a project that was originally a multiplayer game.
Okay, Chris Davis.
I'm just saying, all, like,
this is a game
fucking
that
lying
I completed.
through his teeth.
Who?
The
Wait, what?
EA CEO.
No, he's not. Look, Dragon Age Veilguard is literally a single player RPG with no multiplayer elements.
I mean,
that launched polished and single player, which is the opposite of Anthem and Andromeda. It's literally what people wanted, and people didn't buy it.
But I will say this, as someone who also has finished Dragon Age: The Veilguard, who, like, of the 3 Dragon Age games that I have played now, I mean, this
literally doesn't matter what you're about to say, because the people that matter didn't buy it. They didn't play it. They didn't play it. Now, they may have been swayed by like bad viral press, right, from like Chuds, which was a factor in getting people to buy it or not. But like, you saying what you're about to say, I don't know. I didn't put it on my top 10. It was just kind of mid. No, that doesn't matter because people didn't buy it. But it was what they were asking for. An RPG that was not multiplayer. I mean,
the only reason I played it is because it is what it is.
That didn't have bad open world areas like Inquisition or whatever. It's literally the checklist of shit that BioWare fans were asking for is what Veilguard was.
Yeah, well...
So
it sounds to me like maybe Dragon Age fans don't know what they actually want. I don't know.
Well, I mean, that's not true. I mean, they just didn't play this one.
The majority, most people did not want a multiplayer, like, you know,
let's bring this back to Kingdom Come Deliverance, because that's what the reason I brought it up in the first place is because this is a single player RPG that did score extremely well and is selling extremely well, and it's not a multiplayer game. But like, you boot this shit up, and there's like and this is the opposite. This is the opposite of like a blockbuster, like boom bang, like the opposite. Like, remember how Veilguard starts? This game starts like, you know, there's like long lingering shots of these two homies, like a slightly, you know, homoerotic bromance, and they're like slowly taking off their armor and clothes so they can go swim for a nice swim in a pond. And like literally like fucking 20 minutes lead up to it, this swim, and it's like there has to be an EA exec losing their fucking mind going, this is what people want, this is what we're not understanding. How do you put that together?
Open world homoerotic fiction?
But I mean, not even in a jokey way. It's like literally just chill moments of like not much happening in this game in the best way possible.
That sounds lovely to me.
Does it sound lovely to an EA exec? Like, they're just trying to make money here. Who would have thought that this is what the people wanted?
It sounds like the EA exec is like their own worst enemy. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
I mean, they're also not wrong. People do want multiplayer games. That is.
But here's like, I don't want to like linger too long on talking about Dragon Age Veilguard, but like, there is such thing as overcorrection, because like, to go from Anthem to Dragon Age: The Veilguard, which is a very safe recalculation of the series, but at the same time, like, I don't think people were asking them to like scale it back so much that there is no longer any sense of like open world exploration.
I disagree. I think they literally said, we're going to make Mass Effect 2 because that's the one that the most of our fans say they like, and that's what they did, and they did it perfectly fine, but no one picked it up.
I mean, Mass Effect 2 came out at a time when games were different. We're living in a different generation of gaming, where like the standards of like exploration and world like exploration, it's all very different.
They literally were dabbling in exploration with Inquisition and Andromeda, and everyone said, "Don't do that."
Like, if they
didn't.
Think of it this way: if Mass Effect 2 came out today, it had never come out before, and it is exactly what it is now, the story would still be excellent, yes, but like,
you'd probably be a little confused. I think people, Mass Effect 1.
Just for the sake of the argument, let's just like pretend that's not an issue. If Mass Effect 2 came out today for the first time as a new entry in the Mass Effect series, and it was exactly the way it was before, I think people would have very similar reactions as they did to Veilguard. They would be not very impressed by it, and it wouldn't sell very well.
I don't know. Well, I don't agree with that. Sales and critics. I mean, like, Veilguard didn't score poorly or anything.
No, I know.
I think it was.
I'm just saying what people who I hate. I don't want to be like what gamers want, because that sounds so fucking lame.
What gamers want?
What people who play these kinds of games want today is very different than what they wanted when Mass Effect 2 came out. In terms of like freedom and exploration and
but I don't think exploration I think look, Baldur's Gate 3 was a phenomenon. That's not like some like big seamless open world. its
not even
area
saying it
is
has to
just
be
like fucking avowed or whatever, right?
I'm not even saying it's big open, but I'm talking about you go into a zone in Baldur's Gate and you can literally be in that zone for fucking hours and not have this feeling of like, well, I need to move on. Like it's just there's so much good shit, cool shit happening within that space that like you don't feel the need to to move on. And I don't feel like Veilguard did a very good job of that.
But that's not why it didn't sell.
I'm saying I don't know if you can really put your finger on exactly why it didn't sell.
Oh, I think it's because
I'm saying if they were chasing
the
Mass
stuff
Effect 2,
the stuff that made Baldur's Gate blow up was like literally viral clips of like moments from Baldur's Gate that made people like laugh, that made people like go, "Oh wow, I can't believe
Mainly
you can
the
say that." Like that shit blew up on the right kinds of social media at the right time, and it was huge. So much so that it blew past Larian's expectations like eightfold, right? They were like,
but at the end of the day,
Veilguard is literally the opposite. You cannot type Veilguard like into like YouTube and not find page after page after page of disingenuous, heinous shit about Tosh and certain scenes. It's all garbage and it's everywhere. And
I agree.
So like it went antiviral. It went viral in a bad way. And there's literally normal people I work with when I'm talking about Veilguard, they're like, Veilguard, I heard that was terrible. And I'm like, of course you did. And it's not because you read the IGN review and they gave it an 8 and you're like, oh, I'm not, an 8 is not for me. You know, it's because of fucking TikTok and shit. It killed it. It literally killed that game. These assholes have way more power over the word of mouth than we want to admit, and it's sad. It's sad.
Well, maybe if that's the case, then the series deserves to fucking die on the vine. Like if I don't know. You know what I mean? Like what do you?
All I'm saying is I don't blame EA in all this, honestly, because these motherfuckers tried. Just like when they made a sequel to Mirror's Edge 2 and no one bought it, and they're like, see, you motherfuckers, we made Mirror's Edge 2. You said that this is what you wanted, and you didn't fucking buy it.
I mean, I agree.
It's like they're...
we're also talking about the same EA execs who are interpreting the Veilguard numbers and saying shit like it was a mistake to take the live service elements out of Dragon Age Veilguard.
So Chris Davis was wrong. He said this was started as a live service game and they ripped all that stuff out to turn it into a single player game. That's not right. Veilguard started as a single player game that became a live service game that then went back to a single player game.
Oh,
like they were literally developing games for the modern
and knowing that it's kind of a miracle it turned out as good as it did.
It's a huge miracle, and it launched with like bug free and polished and literally beautiful, and it didn't matter. It didn't matter. Yep. But you know what?
People ruining it for everybody.
The people, even if it wasn't for the bad word of mouth, which I think legitimately hurt it. I think people. It's Baldur's Gate raised the bar, just like Witcher 3 did back in the day. And that came out like a few months after Inquisition, that literally won the most Game of the Year awards that year. There's a tracking site that tracks like hundreds of sites. It won the most awards that year. Dragon Age Inquisition. Dragon Age Inquisition, the year it came out. A few months later, The Witcher 3 came out, and it was instantly dog shit. They're like, what the fuck were we thinking? Inquisition was dog shit. Witcher 3 raised the bar, And Baldur's Gate 3 did the same thing. They're like, we want system-driven games. We want games that have like dynamic like quests, solving and stuff. And this has some of that. And fucking
Kingdom Come
Dragon Age does
Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, you said.
Kingdom Come Deliverance 2.
Real quick, this is just a very early prediction. Knowing absolutely nothing about this next Mass Effect game, I'm a little scared that the next Mass Effect game is going to come out and they're going to take all the wrong lessons from the reaction to Veilguard, and they're going to start curbing like all of the aspects of like the fiction that like true fans of Mass Effect actually love and appreciate.
No.
Like they're gonna start pulling out like the romances and the quote unquote woke shit.
No, I wouldn't worry about that.
No. Here's the thing about Mass Effect. There's literally BioWare/EA cannot make that a product that is going to sell and make people happy. It's over. It's literally, they can't make that game. It is dead on arrival because you can't describe a Mass Effect game that's going to sell. Try right now to describe a Mass Effect game that is going to sell 10 million copies.
Wait, what do you? That's putting me on the fucking. Here's the thing. It always comes down to the fucking.
Okay.
It always comes down to fucking stupid, unrealistic expectations, man.
They wear power armor and it's a looter shooter, and you can fly like Iron Man.
I hate you.
Yeah, I mean, well, you say that, but like Anthem sold way better than Velguard.
Yeah, see, I'm
Wait,
doing pretty
what?
good.
Anthem has like lifetime 5 million copies plus million copies sold.
It does.
It sold a lot faster than Velguard.
Are you fucking serious?
Velguard said that they had 1.5 million engagements.
So there you go.
You know what that means?
It's not that
Do you know why
Anthem
they have-
wasn't an interesting idea.
EA
It's
has a
that it
Game
just
Pass.
sucked as a game.
EA has a Game Pass that
Shut
has
up.
Velguard on it. So when EA says that there's 1.5 million engagements, they don't mean sales. Who knows what Dragon Age the Velguard actually sold? But it wasn't 1.5 million units.
All they needed to do was add a jetpack and mechs, and that's all, and it would have
Dude,
sold so much better.
And I've been saying this.
Dragon
You know,
Age
look.
Inquisition is BioWare's best-selling game.
As long as EA can focus on releasing a Battlefield that's good, they can fund all these projects that are actually cool, and then it doesn't really fucking matter how much they sell. Like that's what should be happening here. Let's be real.
Yeah, you're right, Nick. They should just make a good game.
Yeah.
They're putting a lot of effort into making this new Battlefield game good, apparently. So, like, if they can make a really good, successful Battlefield that, like, even comes close to tapping into the success of Call of Duty,
They've got the right people leading
they can
the
make
project.
Mirror's Edge 3 then, and they can do all this other cool shit, right? You know?
I think that old school dice is gone. They're
Do
long
it
since
again and make it good this time.
But that's the thing. You know, some people are like, "Oh, well, Dragon Age. What if you made it more like Origins?" And like we're using Baldur's Gate 3 as a template, right? Like make it like system more.
Literally do
system-driven,
that.
more like a CRPG, right? Which is crazy to even think that that's what people might want. Who knows? But like the reality is, the reason Dragon Age didn't ever become that again is because that's not the one that sold well. The one that sold well is Inquisition. So they made a game more like Inquisition with minus the stuff that people said they didn't like from Inquisition. They made the combat not feel like shit, and they got rid of the big open empty areas. It was literally the game people were asking for.
Because they made the big open areas weren't necessarily the problem. It's what they put in the big open fucking areas that fucking sucked.
If we're looking at other famous, like, high-profile RPGs to use as templates for improving Dragon Age, I think they should steal from Disco Elysium. I think it should just be like
I think everybody
Disco
should steal
Elysium,
Disco
but there's like
Elysium.
elves and Kunari walking around.
Let him
yes.
cook. Let him cook.
Just do that. Just make like an Outer Wilds, maybe.
What are you
know?
talking about?
Just
have better. Just
God,
better.
but this isn't
Dragon Age
hard.
Oberdin. Dragon Age
the
Oberdin. Just do that.
Dude, that would be so cool.
Yeah, it would be sick. That would be sick.
All right, we probably need to move on. By the way,
let's
this
not
is
talk about
combat.
This game is great. This game is great, but like you can really get into the nitty gritty. Like when you loot someone and they have like 40 things on their body, it's like it can be a lot sometimes.
This
we'll
is
see.
probably going to be the first game of the year that I end up actually playing. I did pick it up, so I'm just trying to get through Metaphor right now before I jump into another game. I mean, it could be, dude. Red Dead Redemption.
You're more of
2
a
is one of my favorite games
Spiders
of all time.
girly though, so
No,
maybe you're
you
not gonna.
I like Spiders games, but come on, give me a break. I like Spiders games for very different reasons. It's not the same reasons you like Kingdom Come
You should do a
Deliverance.
Mars Warlog stream.
The fuck? You know what that reminds me? I need to do.
I think he has.
What am I supposed to be streaming from Fantasy Critic from last year? Because I was last place, right?
Yeah, what the fuck, dude?
I'll-
Also,
What was
Nolan
it?
still has not paid me, and we still have not bought him a game.
What?
Why don't we buy him this or Monster Hunter or something so he
Well,
can
I mean,
pay me?
it's already on. I technically did buy it for him. It's on my Steam. So
Okay,
yes.
no, someone has to like buy him a video game.
Spirits of the Samurai is what I have to stream. I'll do a Spirit of the Samurai stream this weekend.
Awful.
Let's see how long that is. I believe it has to be at least 2 hours.
I can do that. I can do that. Yeah.
I think it's
And then I'll talk about it on the podcast next week.
It's Japanese, Nick.
Oh no!
No. Wait, is it?
No, it's
No,
not.
it's
It's Singaporean. It's
Thank God. Thank God.
Oh, it's only 5 hours. It's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I can do that. Not only will I play this game, I'll beat it on the stream.
There you
Hey,
go.
maybe it's been long enough they've fixed its problems. I don't know.
No.
To me, like Henry just looks like Ed. Ed is like
Yeah.
Every person in this game just looks like Ed, which I guess is what medieval Bohemia just was, I suppose.
Ed got them Bohemian jeans.
Yeah.
Man, recent reviews and all reviews on Spirit of the Samurai are both mixed.
Yeah.
I mean, so what?
It got two
that's my
patches.
punishment.
Some of your favorite games are mixed.
That is true. Man, what if this is actually my game of the year 2024? Now, but it's too late. I've already made my video. Anyways, we'll talk more about this in the future. Like I said, I'll be playing it. It's on my Steam library, so if anybody else here wants to play it, that you should have access to it now. And how are we doing on time?
Nick.
We talked about Kingdom Come Deliverance 2.
Can I just say real quick? I came across a dude when recording that footage that looks so fucking normal. Like so, like that I was like, okay, this is like one of the producers or something at this developer, because this dude doesn't even look like, he just looks like a guy who works in this.
You can't make a face that banal.
Exactly. He looks so fucking like he does not belong. He can't even pull off peasant.
That's fucking awesome. Real quick, but since we're gonna take a break here shortly, but I just wanted to quickly mention, I guess, that I've been playing. Well, here's a question. Maybe Chris Davis, you don't have footage, but is there anything you would like to say about your time with Dino Crisis? Considering,
okay,
he built a house with his bare hands. He can't capture Dino Crisis footage.
These hands.
I streamed the entire game. Okay, so get off my ass. Overall, I like it. I do have some complaints. It's
got what it looks like.
It's Resident Evil, but it's dinosaurs. That's pretty much it.
Oh, that sounds pretty cool.
That's pretty. I've never heard that before.
Yeah. But here,
be right back. Imagining because you didn't use pics.
Fuck off, Brad. Just fuck off so much. I mean, I like it overall, but the problem I have is that, like, Resident Evil 2 is like the pinnacle of that original trilogy, right? That original game.
I mean, it depends on who you ask, because Resident Evil 3 is your favorite, one of your favorite.
It's my personal favorite.
Games.
Don't get me wrong. I understand that. But, like, everyone holds everything to the standard of Resident Evil 2.
I suppose that's accurate, yes.
So Dino Crisis comes out a year after 2, and for some fucking reason, like, it feels like a regression in so many aspects.
Well, they were probably
a different franchise. I mean,
they were probably also being developed by separate teams concurrently. You know what I mean?
Yeah, probably.
There's probably some overlap there.
Yeah,
different overlap. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and you don't want to release two games that look and feel exactly the same at all. You know what I
mean? My main complaint of games is the fucking puzzle design. It's either
brilliant,
terribly easy, or just plain fucking terrible. Because unlike Resident Evil 1 and 2, like, you don't have like a file archive you can go back and look for notes to get passcodes and stuff like that. You've got to go back across the fucking map and find this note that was in some room you played in 2 hours ago to get the password to get this little bitty safe to get.
It's no Lorelei and the laser eyes, am I right?
It's
I mean, that couldn't be farther from. I mean, sorry, that is accurate. That is the truest
Dino
statement
Crisis
I've ever heard.
Probably controls a little bit better than Lorelei does sometimes.
And then, like, it throws puzzles at you that keep evolving, but don't tell you when they're going to necessarily evolve. And they do the worst way of just, like, describing how to actually solve the puzzle or figure out how to do it. But on top of that, like, it can't decide whether it wants to have the stupidest answers to a puzzle or if it wants to have the most ludicrous, atrocious answer possible. Like almost every one of these fucking codex puzzles that you go through, like, is some ridiculously stupid answer. Like things they mentioned like 15 fucking times as part of the plot. Yeah, oh, that's the actual answer to the puzzle. Like stabilizer. Oh yeah, I've heard that word 3,000 times already. Doesn't surprise me that that's the answer. And I get stuck on a puzzle for 45 fucking minutes. I need chat's help to figure out like the answer to this, because you have to do 2 different codex, styles to answer it. Is water wheel. What the fuck? It's so
Sonji in chat says old game is old, and that pretty much sums it up.
It came out after Resident Evil 1 and 2, which had so much better puzzle design.
I think people who claim to love Dino Crisis, myself being one of them, are really in love with the potential that Dino Crisis has, not necessarily for what it actually ended up being. Because I would love to see Dino Crisis come back and as a return to like the homage to the original Resident Evil, but they move on from that concept so quickly. They go from Dino Crisis 1 to Dino Crisis 2, and Dino Crisis 2 is a phenomenal fucking game.
Yes.
Excellent. But it is a very different kind of game.
Silly little action game.
It is a silly little action game, but it's so fun.
But they also did Dino Crisis 3, which is also kind of a completely different game.
We don't talk about that one.
We have to. If we have to acknowledge Onimusha Dawn of Dreams, we have to acknowledge Dino Crisis 3, Nick.
No, that's not true. You're literally wrong. Dino Crisis 3 is a bad game that got terrible reviews and everybody hated. Dawn of Dreams was not that. It was a game you hated because you're a little lore boy, and that's fine. It's fine. It wasn't for everybody, but it didn't get bad reviews.
It's allegedly. I don't believe that for a second. So like. This game is overall fine. I like the decision system that was kind of, I guess, prototyped in this for Resident Evil 3. And I like how there's kind of branching scenarios to go off of those. Like, it feels like I'm not just making a binary choice when I want to fight a boss and when I don't want to fight a boss. I actually have more room to explore and go try out new things if I go to these alternate decisions. And there's even like hidden shit. Like I didn't even know about the third ending where I could have theoretically saved everyone. I didn't know that was even possible. So I don't know. I like it.
Chris Davis.
What?
I just did a little bit of research. Onimusha Dawn of Dreams is at 81 on Metacritic with an 8.5 user rating.
Damn.
Dino Crisis 3 is a 51 on Metacritic with a 3.2 user rating. So maybe slow your roll when lumping them together, homie.
So why was Capcom
Is it time to replay
people?
Dawn of Dreams?
No, it's not. It's never time.
It's still not for you two. But I'm telling you, there are people out here who probably like a Yakuza game, maybe.
There are 3 Onimusha games. There are 5 lights. Okay.
I don't know how to tell you this, but everyone seems to think Dawn of Dreams is a pretty good video game.
That's not what I said.
I'm looking. I'm just like Googling it and looking at.
I don't want to be that guy, but the Cardassian interrogator was trying to get him to say there were 3 lights. There were actually 4.
I don't remember that.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
I was thinking
because he
Star
said
Trek
there
reference.
are 5 lights. He was There's an
Gotcha.
episode of Next Generation. Captain Picard gets abducted. He gets tortured.
There's 5 lights.
There are 4 lights.
4 lights. Yeah, he doesn't give in.
So at the end of the day, the question I have is, why would Capcom spend so much money bribing journalists to give Onimusha Dawn of Dreams a high score when they didn't put the money towards Dino Crisis 3? I mean, there's
plenty. They threw plenty of money. They threw plenty of money at Dino Crisis 3. It was just a bad idea that didn't pan out. Hey, okay, we're gonna take a break, guys, and when we come back, we have 2 more games to talk about. Maybe we'll do a little bit of Fantasy Critic catch-up, and we'll wrap up with the 4-Player Minute. So if you're hanging out with us live on Twitch or YouTube, don't go anywhere. And we'll be back after this quick break. Welcome back, everybody. This occurred to me. I didn't talk about this earlier. I think it's worth mentioning because since our last episode that we recorded was Groundhog's Day. My wife and I went to the Draft House to watch Groundhog's Day, and they had a feast. Kind of like they do for the Lord of the Rings thing.
Did it repeat every 25 minutes?
So I was sitting here thinking, going into this thing, I was like, oh man, that'd be fucking hilarious if they just bring you the same food 3 different times. Because it's supposed to be.
What movie would you see?
It was Groundhog's Day.
Okay.
We went and saw Groundhog's Day at the
Yeah.
Draft House, and it's you pay for it, and it has 3 different, it has a appetizer, an entree, and a dessert.
Yeah.
And I was like, they've got it. It's right there. They've got to do it. They've got to just bring you the same thing over and over again. And they bring out the first thing, the appetizer, and it was potato dish that was this rectangular brick of potato with fried basil on top, and it was really, really fucking good. It was flaky and layered and stuff. And then they bring out the entree 30 minutes later, and they fucking got me. I was like, excuse me, I think you brought me the wrong thing. I think this is the same, but it wasn't. They just made 3 different things that all look exactly the same.
Okay.
I was like, I don't know why that didn't occur to me.
So you thought they were gonna do it.
I thought they were gonna,
and you
And
forgot.
then they still got him.
I thought they were going
That sounds like a skill issue.
No, they bring you.
still got
Listen. They bring you the menu at the beginning, right? So it tells you what you're gonna get, and it's 3 different things that sound totally different. So I was like, okay, they're not doing the thing, that's kind of lame. And then they bring out the meal, but they look the same. So they fucking got me, but in a different way. So I just thought that was really clever.
Well,
It was all fucking delicious, though.
Would you have sat there and ate the same potato
probably
dish
would.
3 times?
That potato dish was pretty legit.
That
But,
movie's not that long.
No.
It's a weird movie to have a feast.
Oh yeah, no, I know. I mean, it's the term feast is very
Feast.
generous because it's not like when we went and saw the extended trilogy of Lord of the Rings where it was 7 meals and they were all literally plate full of food in front of you kind of situations, which was fucking sick. It was definitely not that. It was somebody somewhere realized we can do something funny for Groundhog's Day, and they just did it. And it was $80 for a ticket with.
And they
all
show the
3
movie
meals.
3 times.
No, my wife has watched Groundhog's Day twice in the same day on Groundhog's Day. She's pretty intense about that. I have never done that though, because I'm
Strange.
not weird. Anyways, let's get into it, Brad.
What?
Well, you know what? Fuck you, Brad. Krispy.
No.
Do Brads.
You literally would rather. Okay, no.
Do Brad.
Stop it.
Do Brad.
This is actually a new game. Wait, who else has a game? Krispy.
It's
He's
just
gonna
you
talk
I
and
about
was
it.
going to
Krispy.
talk a little bit about.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Lonely Mountains Snow Riders.
Which
The
is-
follow-up to Lonely Mountains Downhill, which is a game I played years ago. Y'all might remember it
I knew
as
it
a
sounded familiar.
It's the 3rd entry, right? They had something else too, right?
I've only played Downhill and Snow Riders now. These are little how do I describe them? They are little
You're skiing down a mountain.
skiing down a mountain. Well, I'm trying
Is
to
it like
describe...
Trials HD in some
I mean,
sense?
so
are you-
imagine Trials, but just kind of
Chill?
chill. It's chill. It can
Literally
be difficult, certainly, but it is chill. Like these are chill, simple, beautiful games. But games where you kind of get in the zone, and games that are very yeah, I mean, chill in a good way. Like you just
Chill is usually good, Brad.
like for example, there's no music, Chris Davis. You just hear the snow and
you
the
bring
wind.
2 games in a row where you
Well,
with no
I'm
music?
saying you're there to just enjoy the mountain. And the first game was the last game that I played was a mountain biking game where you went down a mountain, and this is very similar, except you're going down you're skiing down a mountain, but it feels very you really feel like you're figuring out the path as you go, which I guess and the biking game felt less open that way, less organic, and it's in like the pathing.
This is like how climbers have to like puzzle out a route or something.
Yeah, kind of. And it's not like you're still going to kind of end up in the same general direction, but it feels a lot more wide and a lot more like, oh, I think I could just like go between those rocks. And like, sure enough, like the game sort of accounts for that. And it's kind of like a nice. I'm trying to talk about this game without saying the V word, which I'm trying to say less of these days. But I'm realizing vagina.
Oh, yeah, obviously.
No, vibes. Vibe. But like what? There's definitely a that sort of thing, atmosphere, if you will. It does appeal to me a lot these days. I don't know. This is like but it can be very like frustrating if you are trying to make progress, of which is, get down the mountain in a certain amount of time without falling a certain amount of times, right? And it's sort of antithetical to the idea of playing a really chill type of trials sort of game, because it's not like explicitly hard, like the obstacles in front of you are not hard to navigate, but you kind of get in the zone and you start going fast and you just want to like have a nice clean line, except oh wait, you're going into a rock very fast and it's very easy to wipe out, right? So you're doing that again and again and again in segments as you're kind of hitting checkpoints as you go down a mountain, but it becomes very addictive. And it's a game that it might be hard to tell from this footage if you're just like looking at it on a phone or whatever, but this is a very like nice looking game, just like the first one. Like they're very beautiful, polished looking games, and the way like that the sun glistens off the snow is just fucking gorgeous.
It is cool. Also, like I also feel like I can't. Obviously, I'm watching the footage. I can't hear the sound, but like I feel like I can feel the sound. I can hear the sound of like your skis cutting through the snow. Like I can just.
Looks and sounds gorgeous. Absolutely sounds gorgeous. And like the snow feels good. There's lots of good snow physics, and I didn't really get this with the mountain game, but because of the nature of snow, like I find myself when I'm trying to like run the same lines again or like a similar line and like the previous tracks are still there, there's like a little bit of physics that they're taking into account too, where I find myself kind of like sliding into those grooves that I've sort of like cut up on a previous path right down that mountain before I wiped out and had to do it again. And that's kind of a cool feeling. It feels good. It looks beautiful. It's very chill, and you feel yourself getting a lot better at it as well. But there's not too much to say. Like kind of like the first downhill or Lonely Mountains game I played. This is like that, and it's weird because the trailer for this game is like not good, because it's got like music and it sounds like a fucking Academy commercial or something. I don't understand why they're putting music like that in a trailer that for a game like this.
It has no music.
And even though it's called Lonely Mountains and I'm playing it by myself and it's about just me and the mountain and nature, like this game does have online multiplayer, and I did do a little bit of that, and it is fun to see to go to run the mountain with other players, but it's a lot of wiping out and following their line and realizing that they just like went off a cliff and now I'm going off a cliff and maybe I shouldn't have done that, which is kind of cool.
That's funny.
And then players who are like really good at it and who like are just going down the mountain while other players are just like wiping out. But and there's like tricks and stuff. I don't do a lot of tricks here because I'm like, what's the point? I'm just here for like the vibes.
Oh, you said it.
I said it. You're right. But I mean, this is a game that is where it's at least a little warranted. We use it too often these days, and I feel like it's not warranted. This is one of those, so it's okay.
Word.
But like I don't know. There's not much to say. It's on Game Pass, which is the perfect place for a game like this. I feel like Game Pass had a pretty weak year last year in terms of just like their week to week, month to month output. But this year, like some of the coolest indie games like have been on Game Pass. Let me open this up. Like not only did they get Lonely Mountains, they also got Citizen Sleeper 2, which is sick. They got that Ninja Gaiden Black shadow drop. So like and they got Eternal Strands, which I heard Eternal Strands is pretty cool. Those are like good, indie games to have on Game Pass right now. I don't know. Is anybody going to try Eternal Strands? Are y'all familiar with that game?
I gotta look at it.
Mike Laidlaw's studio. They made a new studio, like an indie studio called what was it? Is it Yellow Brick? And they're like, we're gonna make a game, but it's kind of like a Breath of the Wildy meets Shadow of the Colossus type game where you're using like elements to take out colossi. And it got like solid reviews, but like it's like a very Eternal Strands. Yeah, it's on Game Pass.
It's a Strand game?
No, it came out in January. And it's unfortunate that I'm glad it's on Game Pass, but I think it's been.
Yeah, I'm looking at it on Steam now. I've never heard of this.
Which is sad. That is kind of like how indie games go these days, sadly.
That ice physics thing looks kind of cool. Okay.
Yeah. So
what is it called?
Eternal Strands. It's actually giving me oh my god, what's the game on what's the game on PS? I played it on PS5. The big the Ubisoft open world game where you're like the Greek
Immortals
gods.
Phoenix Rising.
It reminds me a little of Immortals Phoenix Rising.
Definitely art style, yeah.
Yeah, and it is kind of like open worldy Breath of the Wildy a little bit.
A new game, Dragon Age's creative director.
Yeah, Mike Laidlaw.
Okay.
Yeah. Shit. It's just on Game Pass. It's one of the. I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know. I mean,
I might check this out. It's on Game Pass. Anyways, cool. Yeah. So that was
also. I will say, I kind of wish I had this like installed directly on my Steam Deck, but it's frustrating scenario where it's like I'm not gonna buy it on Steam. It's on Game Pass, so I'm definitely not gonna buy it because I have.
So you're having to use Moonlight.
Yeah, and the other one is Citizen Sleeper 2, which is so frustrating because 2 years ago when I played the first Citizen Sleeper, it was on Game Pass, and I'm like, oh, I really want to play this. It's on Game Pass, but I'm like, but I don't want to like. It's not a game. It's like a book that you want to read in bed. I don't want to have to connect to my fucking computer, and every time I suspend it, I have to like reconnect to it. Damn it!
Nobody in this site has bought Citizen Sleeper 2.
Well. So what I did, I got so frustrated with it that I did buy the first Citizen Sleeper on Steam because I just wanted it installed on my Steam Deck so I could play it at work easily and stuff. And I'm in the same position now with Citizen Sleeper 2, and I'm frustrated because I want to like play it at work and stuff, like while I'm eating lunch. And I can't because it's on Game Pass, and I can't justify buying the game on Steam when it's on my computer installed. But I really want to play Citizen Sleeper 2. But if you're wondering why I have not started it yet to talk about it, it's because I'm in that dumb situation. I'm not just gonna sit at my computer and read a fucking game.
This would be a fun game to put on my Steam Deck. Maybe I'll pick it up. I'm not gonna do it right now. Anyways. Citizen Sleeper 2.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm sitting here trying to think of something that's Steam Deck compatible that I could easily take with me and play on my lunch breaks and stuff that came out in the year 2025. And this seems like a good candidate. Anyways. Krispy.
Go ahead.
No, what?
Krispy.
Your journey through the world of Yakuza has continued. And you just finished a game in that series.
I started this game years ago when it came out. I told you guys I was gonna go back to it and finish it. Last year I played a big chunk of it and then drifted away again. And then earlier this year I was like, well, after we started seeing Infinite Wealth come out last year, like even before that, I was like, well, I need to finish. I need to finish 7 so that I can play Infinite Wealth. And
Chris Davis the footage.
Oh, tiny baby
super
footage.
Tiny. Sorry.
That's how I recorded it. And then this year I was like, okay, it's fucking 2025, a fresh slate. Time to get out there and play something new. So I was like, I want to play Infinite Wealth this year, which means I have to finish Yakuza 7. I was on like chapter 12 when I stopped. There's like 15 chapters and
that's like if I was to stop Metaphor right now.
Or Baldur's
Gate
3.
Well, I mean, those 3 chapters too are like hours of gameplay, along with at least one, more realistically 2, like definite like skill check moments. Like there was a fight I was talking about in Discord. There's a fight where you fight somebody, and because of the prestige of this character, the fight is extremely hard. And you have to like I had to like level up like 10 levels. So I had to go do a bunch of like they have these like they have these dungeons. Like there's one called the Sotombori Battle Arena, there's the Kamurocho sewers, and there's the Ijincho sewers, which are like
fuck the sewers. You did the battle arena, right?
I did the battle arena when I was leveling up for that fight, and then before I could go into the like the last dungeon, Millennium Tower, I did the Kamurocho sewers because they have like a okay, so it is a turn-based RPG, right? And the whole idea is that the main character, the guy you play as, Ichiban Kasuga, loves video games. He especially loves Dragon Quest, and he loves imagining himself as a hero in the world. So he kind of like breaks things down in terms of Dragon Quest.
That in and of itself is like the craziest detail.
To that end, like in the game, like there are like the game itself employs a lot of tropes from like the Dragon Quest RPGs and stuff. So like there's an enemy type that functions just like a metal slime from Dragon Age, where like it has like it's resistant to all damage. It only takes like 1 damage at a time. It doesn't dish out a lot of damage. But if you kill it, it's worth like a shit.
And it runs away. It runs away.
And it runs away unless you can get it quick, right?
They have those in Metaphor. They're not called slimes.
It's a whole class.
They're like elementals or something,
Right. But yeah, so those 3 hours, there's a lot of gameplay going on. Had to do a lot of like leveling and building up like doing character relation content, and of course trying to do a bunch of sub stories. This game, just like all the other Yakuza games, has a bunch of sub stories. They're all great. And I finally finished it. I rolled credits.
Yay!
And I gotta tell you, the story was fucking blowing me away. I had tears in my eye by credits. Like,
see, that's the kind of shit that makes me want to actually give the series a try. But
it was blowing me away, Nicholas. Like, if you're talking about like, I mean, 1 minute you're doing like goofy, like go-karts and like, like he's going around town with like a pot of kimchi that's like way too spicy. And anybody he encounters who has any kind of problem, he just gives them kimchi, and the really spicy kimchi like makes them go do like whatever they were afraid of.
Kind of goated.
Yeah, it's fucking goated. It's great. It's so good. But then when it's like down to brass tacks and it's doing like the story, oh, it's so good. This like the events of this story are also hugely impactful for the world of Yakuza. This game, along with the what was it? It's called Like a Dragon Gaiden, The Man Who Erased His Name.
Yeah, the man who erased his name.
Yeah, which is the little side story about what Kiryu's doing during all this but this era is about the dissolution of the Yakuza. This is the dissolution of the Omi Alliance and the Tojo clan, like the two biggest Yakuza organizations in Japan, and a lot of like political fallout from that. Kiryu, Ichiban, there's someone from Ichiban's past who is now like the governor of Tokyo and is like this politician who has all these like schemes and machinations, and it's all about like getting to the bottom of this. Like it's so good, Nick. It is so good. Like it's the really fucking good. drama. The
Yakuza 0 is in our Steam library.
When the shirts start coming off,
dude. The
way they can rip off like
so good.
entire suits,
dude. I thought it was really funny. I'm not sure if it was supposed to be a bit, but I think it was, and it was kind of funny. Okay, well, I don't know. Spoiler, but this is a Yakuza game, so Kiryu Kazma's in it. Yeah. And
say what?
When you fight him, he like rips off his suit, and they show the dragon of Dojima, like his fucking dragon tattoo on his back, and it's like that's sick. And then fucking Ichiban rips his off and they show his tattoo on his back. His tattoo has the exact same dragon face in the exact same location, but the body's a fish instead of a dragon because he wasn't allowed to get a dragon because that's like too cool. And he just like wanted a Yakuza tattoo, but he was like a low level nothing. So he got a dragonfish instead.
A dragon.
And he grew up in a whorehouse.
It's so he grew up in a soap land called Shangri-La, raised by what was that guy's name? It's like Ichiro Kasuga or something like that. But more to learn there. Oh, it's his mentor.
Like
I will say this:
is literally, and he's in the conversation for the greatest video game character.
Dude, he's so good. He's so good. And the whole party is fucking top notch. Yeah. Like at its core, this game is about like a bunch of like 40-year-old adult friend, like best friend losers who like just hang out at this bar and then like go around town like beating up mafiosos and cops and shit.
So it's always sunny in Philadelphia, is what you're saying.
It's very One Piece, or I mean, well, One Piece is it is a D&D party, but like in just like the real world, and they all have like jobs and stuff. Like it's so good. It's so good. I fucking love it. It's great.
No.
Nick, I think there's a lot for you to love. I will tell you this. And this might be controversial, but I played this in English with the English voiceover, and I loved it. I thought it was great.
Good. It's good. Yeah.
I thought it was really good. It's so good. Fucking George Takei plays Ichiban's like former Yakuza boss.
Yeah.
Arakawa-san, and he's so good. Yeah, I mean that was a thing too when I played. When I played Yakuza 0, I loved it, but like there got to be a point where I was just like, man, I wonder what this like. It might be cool, and I don't know, I'm not like that about anime usually, but that was a game that I kind of wanted to see what like English would be like, and I think this game having like a full English, because they didn't normally do that before, right, Brad?
No.
Like they've never done that.
It started literally with Judgment, I believe, the first Judgment.
Oh
and
yeah.
Since then, all of Ryuga
I forgot they made a
Gotoku?
RGG Studios games have had English tracks. Although Kiryu Gaiden, the main race's name, didn't launch with English. We had to wait for
they patched it in.
Yeah, they patched it in.
Wait, so
does the guy in, is it the same guy who plays Kiryu in?
No, that's the controversial thing. This, like, remember with the trailer? Trailer talk.
Yeah, I remember.
Mascot Agency. So the YouTuber Yang Yi is what's his name?
Yang Ye, yeah.
He is the voice of Kiryu, but like he wasn't in Yakuza 7. That is the original English Kiryu, because the original PS2 Yakuza game.
Yeah, I looked it up
English
too. And that guy's like older too, right? He's like an older white guy.
Yeah, he's a white guy, and so they recast him. Yeah. And I mean, it's not like he was great or anything. I mean, my Kiryu is the Japanese Kiryu, and
I've kind of lost the thread here a little bit. Are you saying I should, if I started, I should play in English, or should I not play in English?
No, you should play in English. I mean,
I think, I think English is. I would say no worries if you want to play in English.
Kazuka, they do a good job.
The main characters in their English versions are fucking great. Yeah. The only one who's like maybe controversial, I guess, is Kiryu. But I will say this: I also started playing Infinite Wealth in English, and I mean, I know I don't have, any kind of preconceived notions or like, nostalgia necessary for Kiryu, but like Yang Ye, like I like his Kiryu. Like it's already kind of set.
The Japanese
in my head
is the voice of a legend. I mean, he sounds the part, and so when I heard his voice in that Promise Mascot Agency trailer, I was like, oh my god! I feel like I had lost. It was a memory that I had pushed into the back of my mind so I could accept the new English Kiryu. It was not easy to do for me.
So
not easy to do. I played Yakuza 2 through 6 with Japanese Kiryu.
Sure. Okay, listen.
yeah.
I know we've maybe had this conversation before, so I don't want to like dwell on that or anything. I just real simple answer if it's possible, because I am giving it thought because of the fact that Yakuza 0 is in our Steam family shared library and I can play it on my Steam Deck, right? So here's my question.
Zero.
If I start with Yakuza 0, as you should, and then if that's stuck and I eventually wanted to play another one and I jumped to Like a Dragon, am I going to be insanely confused?
No. I mean, yeah, but
Like a Dragon
I think you
doesn't-
should start with Like a Dragon, because while Yakuza 0 is the start of Kiryu's story, it is also a game that came out after Yakuza 5.
It's a prequel.
So like
Yeah.
it's a prequel that came out. So they still kind of expect you to like know certain things about the world, kind of, because a lot of it's like very prequel-y in that way.
It does a
You
good
can
job
usually
of
tell when they're
Yakuza
playing.
7 is the good place to start.
Yeah,
You
agreed.
can usually tell when they're like playing a character introduction for like, fans of the series who are like, I don't know who this guy is, but I guess he's important because we're hanging on him being here for a minute. Like
the
So if
game
you started with 7, it's like starting its own thing.
the
So,
thing,
like-
the thing
No,
is like
not really.
there's only 7 is much more its own thing. The wider like political story of like the Yakuza devolving is from like 6 and like what's going on in the series before that. That whole part, by the time you get there is like a part where like you and your buddies are in a room with a bunch of like Yakuza legends like from the series, and your guys are all like, whoa, these guys are weird. Okay, well, see you later. Like, and then you
just don't know
leave.
who those people
Yeah,
are.
you don't.
and yeah.
Nick,
You don't
I gotta be honest
necessarily
with you.
need.
I don't think Yakuza is your series, but if you are curious,
I
you just
am
want maybe
curious.
a taste, try Judgment. Judgment is in English. It is its own world.
Wait, and Like a Dragon is not in our family shared library.
The first one isn't. I was playing it on PlayStation.
Yeah, I got.
Oh wait, never mind. It is. I take it back. It is. It's just listed under Yakuza.
Do we
right.
have
Instead of-
Judgment? Or Judgment's famously not on PC, I don't think. Maybe it is now. I don't know. Judgment is, these games are on Game Pass as well, I think. Judgment would be
I specifically wanted to play it on my
a
Steam
good
Deck.
way to get a taste, though, because Judgment is a Yakuza game, but it's its own story, crime
Does
story.
Judgment have like, I don't know, the whimsy at times? I don't
It
think
can,
Judgment
But
does.
and like the sub stories and stuff. Yeah.
Like
Oh, they
Nick,
do sub stories.
Yeah.
if
Oh,
you're
okay,
ever
cool.
worried,
Yeah, it's weird though, because you play as a very competent person, which you don't really
Right.
in most of the Yakuza games.
Dude,
You play
well,
as kind of like a doofus, or like, the person who doesn't, the blunt instrument maybe.
I was gonna say it's kind of fun going from 7 to Infinite Wealth, where it's like in 7, they're all idiots. Like,
Yeah.
so it's like a party of idiots running around being like, oh fuck, like what now, And in 7, I'm in chapter or not in 7, in Infinite Wealth, I'm in chapter 3. So right now I'm like, my party is Cosma, a new character, and Kiryu.
Yeah.
And like Ichiban and Kiryu running around together is like great. I love it so much because Kiryu's still just like a fucking idiot weirdo who like is in Hawaii and doesn't speak English.
Wait, so how far are you in Infinite Wealth?
I'm in chapter 3.
Oh, okay.
So like
they're about to take the reins off it,
yeah. I just got the fucking scooter. I love
Yeah.
it. Like the Segway. It's so
I mean,
good.
here's the thing, Nick, is that 7 is a great way to start. And if you are worried about getting lost and like trying to catch up on the lore, the game does a very good job of inserting proper exposition and framing characters so that you don't have to necessarily go learn a lot.
Okay.
It's not,
Right.
it's pretty organic. Like
still
I
don't
didn't know who these people were or like what was going on, but they onboard you really quickly, and like you can tell it's important, and it makes sense in the context of the story.
The entire story,
silly, though, Nick? Do you want silly?
Look. I don't really. That doesn't even really enter into the equation for me. What interesting? I hear people talking.
Judgment and Lost Judgment.
I hear how in love y'all are with just the general like the characters in the story, and that's what I care about.
it's great. It's great.
So
So like this studio puts out games, and they do a really good job of making characters. So like you could play any of them and have a good time with that. But
Also, I looked up Judgment, and I would be open to starting with Judgment, but that game is fucking $39.99 still, and I'm not ready.
It's not.
It goes on sale very regularly.
No, it's
on
not.
Game Pass, I think, but whatever.
Yeah, it's not, unfortunately.
Man.
These games are good Steam Deck games, so I get it.
Yeah, I mean, Nick, I think there's a lot for you to get out of. At least Like a Dragon.
I'll put Like a Dragon on my Steam Deck and just see how it goes, and if it doesn't stick with me, it doesn't stick. I'll drop it, whatever.
I would say you have to give it at least 3 chapters.
I am the one holdout on this fucking podcast who has never touched a Yakuza game, so I feel like I should at least give it a fair shake. So,
dude, it's good. It's so good.
And there's a lot of cool improvements going on.
And the crazy thing about it is, like, I mean, you probably have an impression of the series from, like, all of us talking about it and, like, all the weird things that goes on. But, like, it is a game that while you're playing feels like it underpromises and overdelivers, like, a lot.
Yeah.
Like the number of, like, systems or new games or just, like, something new that's, like, popping up, like, hours into gameplay. You're just like, what the fuck? Like, it's...
I didn't see this coming. Yeah.
It's sick. It's so sick.
Okay.
I'll
give it a shake
and a half ago when I was screaming at Sega to localize Yakuza 2.
Oh my god, I do remember that. That's
man.
funny.
It's been a long time.
This game, I mean, Ichiban as a character, like, he is the most infectious, most enjoyable character you could play in years.
Yeah,
I did a side story. I did a side story where there's, like, a little girl on the street, like, collecting donations so that she can pay for her brother's, like, cancer surgery. And you do this whole side story with her, and it's, like, a really sweet, touching story. You're, like, defending her from, like scam artists who are, like, trying to steal the money, and, like, you're just helping this family who's got, like, a sick kid in the hospital, right? And this little 8-year-old girl. When you finish the side story, it's, like, really touching. You're like, man, that's so sweet. And then they give you the little girl as a summon for battle. So, like, in the middle of a fight, you can call her, she comes to the fight, and then, like, she's got her little donation box, and she sucks money out of all the enemies, and, like, gives you a whole bunch of money and, like, damages them all. Like, it's so good. It's so good.
Pound mace, y'all.
That's actually kind of fucking amazing.
Service with a pounding.
Make sure you get since you're in chapter 3. Hey, Krispy, make sure you get the Crazy Taxi mini game guy. He's a really good pound.
I already did it.
Okay,
did it. It's so good.
The way he heals everybody and damages
Crazy
and knocks them down.
Eats.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah.
All right.
Charlie?
Oh, man. Dondoku Island, man. You got Dondoku Island.
I haven't gotten that far
so
yet.
good.
I can't wait.
All right.
I can't wait for Dondoku Island.
All right.
I will boot up Like a Dragon, and I will report back, and we'll see how it goes. I'm not making any promises, but goddamn it,
give it 3 chapters, Nick. 3 chapters.
I will say, Nick, also, since you're about to start playing 2025 games, I'm going to try to come up with a new list for you. I don't know what the list is going to be. It's not going to be Japanese games, but I'll think of something.
It's not going to be Japanese. Okay, I was about to say, like, if we do the same challenge and I lose again, I feel like that just makes me twice as racist as I was.
I just don't even want to
like...
talk about that this year. We're just going to move on from that one, Nick. It'll be some other topic.
We've learned to love you, warts and all, Nick.
Ugly games. It's gonna be a list of ugly games.
A list of ugly games.
A warts and all game.
Yes,
Nick can they be? Can they be like?
By the end of this
like
year, we are going to
styles.
know that Nick is a racist aesthete.
Brad also thinks that I think Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown is ugly.
Oh no, they're gonna be uglier than that.
Does it have to be like a game for 2025, or can we build a list?
Yeah, I'll find some 2025 games.
All right, and here's the thing: we got to make it realistic enough that, like, because the thing that killed me last time is that the thing that pushed me off of playing the games in the list as much as I could have been is that I was not going to find time to play the things that I already genuinely wanted to play.
Okay.
So like it's got to be like
I'm just taking the hole deeper.
I don't want to spend all 2025 playing your list of ugly games is what I'm saying.
You didn't have to waste an entire the list was not that crazy, Nick. It was not.
You and your uggos.
Literally on the list were Rebirth and Dragon's Dogma, literal big popular games.
Just make your list
70
and we'll
hours
talk
of
about
play
it.
could have solved that entire challenge for you.
Do you know how long it takes me to play 70 hours of games these days?
Well, if you would just
Hopefully
focus on
70
one game at a
hours.
time.
Do you know how many hours into Stalker 2 and Metaphor I am? About 70 hours each. And I started them in November.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I started Metaphor before that. I think I started Metaphor in like September or something.
I'm just saying.
So,
Focus on
whatever.
one.
I get it. It took my entire playthrough of Unicorn Overlord was about 120 hours for a single playthrough, and Chris Davis was what 60. You know,
Probably 80, but yeah.
All right, look, just make your damn list of ugly games and we'll talk about it, okay?
That's good.
All right.
I will say,
no, actually, that one's not ugly.
At least 40 hours of Brad's playthrough Unicorn Overlord was
going to be ugly
menus.
games. They're going to be games that I know you think maybe are visually unappealing.
But they also here's the catch, Brad. They also have to be games that are good. Like they can't be ugly and bad.
It's
they need
so
to be
funny that you are already associating ugly with bad. That's
not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I'm just saying
the
you can't just make
Brad.
You can't make a list full of games that are both ugly and bad. You need to make
he's
a
not
list that
going to because he's make games that he played.
Okay, that's fair. Just saying. Just fucking saying. Okay, real quick. We're going to wrap up in a minute, but I just want to ask because I'm going to be honest. I haven't been paying a ton of attention to Fantasy Critic this month. So, has anything of significance transpired that we need to talk about?
Where everyone's been sleeping at the fucking wheel.
There's
been some Chris Davis
early.
shit, but
it's still early.
Kingdom Come Deliverance got an 89.
Some action, huh?
Kingdom Come Deliverance got an 89.
Yeah. I mean, the games
cost Brad 19 points.
Look,
yeah,
super dropped
you got to understand. Y'all might think it's an L, but I drafted in such a way that it is certainly not an L for me. But I mean, hey, you're right. It is a bad. No, I mean, you could say that when you're fucking asking me for my Venmo at the end of the year again. But I'm telling you, I'm okay. Don't worry about me. I will say, Kingdom Come Deliverance certainly overperformed. It went from a 72 to an 89, which is still absurd. That's bigger than the Dragon's Dogma jump.
There is a state of play tomorrow, which we haven't mentioned. So maybe there'll also be some stuff there that sparks some. We're just
really slow playing it. There are games that are like Ninja Gaiden. Like someone's gonna have Ninja Gaiden on their list. It's just we're all kind of slow playing it, which isn't that exciting.
There's a couple
like moment to moment discussion.
There are a couple of things that I feel like I need to do to like really truly put a bow on 2024 Fantasy Critic, and including we received our community art that we're going to be putting on a trophy or piece of merch of some kind to send to the winners of last year's community winners for 2024. So big shout out to our community member Haste, who put together some lovely art for us.
Really
we'll
nice.
be sharing that soon. In fact, by the end of the weekend, I want to try and figure out what that is going to look like and get that ordered so we can get that over to our community members from last year that won. And then I'm also
good ideas for how to get that onto something like good that y'all might like. Let us know because we've been looking at some ideas, but it might be kind of we'll see.
I might do some research on it tomorrow if I can too. But also on top of that, like I said, to really truly put it last year behind me, I have to do my stream where I play the game on my list that scored the worst, which happened to be Spirit of the Samurai. So I will try and do a stream of that this weekend. Means I got to buy the game and get that set up. Which honestly, I'm interested to try that game.
You have to play at least 2 hours, which means
I told you I would. That's the motivation, just so I can't get any of my fucking money back. Anyway, so look forward to that. I'll share more about that I'll let everybody in Discord know when I'm going to be streaming that. So if you're not in our Discord but you listen to the show, maybe consider jumping in there. Discord.gg/4Player. We'd love to have you. But anyways, neither here nor there. Let's go ahead and wrap the show up with the 4-Player Minute, our final thoughts for the week, if you will. Brad, are you ready to start?
I got nothing. Come back to me.
What? Why do you keep doing this? Like the third time in a row you've done this to me. Krispy?
Okay. I'm not gonna talk about games because I'm just playing Yakuza 8. No, I guess Like a Dragon, Infinite Well. We don't call it Yakuza anymore. But I'm still watching Star Trek: The Next Generation, and oh my god, that show's so good. That show is so fucking good. Season 3 is a certified stone cold classic, let me tell you. Okay? Listen.
Okay.
You've got The Ensigns of Command. That's a good episode. You've got a really heartwarming episode in The Bonding, where a fucking Worf looks out for this orphaned kid. There's an episode called The Hunted with a character named Roga Danar, who is like Dash Rendar, but in Star Trek, and he's really lame. And I thought that episode was going to be lame. I was like, I'm not excited about this, and you know what? I watched it. It was great. Deja Q, love that. It's probably my first Q episode that I really like. Allegiance is a cool one. This episode has the most toys. That's the episode where a collector kidnaps Data to add to his collection.
Yeah. Oh,
and it's so good. At the end of the episode, he like tries to force Data to stay by like killing his servants, because he's like, you're programmed to value life in all forms. You're not gonna kill me, and if you don't do what I say, I'm gonna kill this guy, and I'm gonna kill this guy, and he like kills this lady, and it's really gruesome. And at the end of it, Data gets the dude's gun, and the guy's like, you're not gonna fucking kill me because you're programmed not to kill. And Data's like, this is just going to keep happening if you're alive. And then, like, right at the last second, he goes to pull the trigger and he gets transported out. And then when they materialize him in the transporter room, they're like, oh, Mr. Data, that weapon was in discharge while you were transporting. And he's just like, no, that must be a mistake. And that's the end of the episode. It's so good. It's so good. I love Star Trek.
You know the thing about that episode
season ends with the best of both worlds part 1. That's the episode where Picard gets turned into a Borg. And then in season 4, the very last shot of season 3 is Picard as a Borg on screen talking to the Enterprise, and is like, we're going to simulate you. Resistance is futile. And then they do this like dramatic slow pan towards fucking Riker, and they push in, and he's like, prepare to fire, and the music's going whip it, and then they hit you with the to be continued. It's so good. It's so good.
That's season 3.
That's the end of season 3.
That happens sooner than I thought.
Sooner than you think. Sooner than you think.
How many seasons does that show have?
7?
7?
Yeah, 7 seasons.
Yeah.
And then in season 5, they added sparkly lines to the title.
Ooh.
Which is cool.
But
that
was also the season they added Ensign Row, I think.
Season 3, 4, I feel like we're right. Yeah, season 7's the season with Ensign Row. She's great.
She's good.
She was originally going to be Major Kira in Deep Space Nine, but they made them 2 separate characters. She got Nick Locarno / Tom Paris.
Yeah. You should look up the mild controversy behind the most toys. How they recast the antagonist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy that plays Faja was like was a friend of the producers and took the role last second. And let me tell you something. He fucking kills it. He's so good in that episode.
He is, yeah.
It's great.
But yeah, well, if you look up like the recordings of that original actor, like it's a night and day difference between the characters.
I bet. You'd probably recognize. I mean, he's a guy that's been around. He's an older guy. He's been in stuff. I don't know. He's recognizable.
Yeah, no, Saul Rubinek. He was.
That's my Saul Rubinek. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my update on Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Wonderful.
Yeah, my 4-player minute starts now.
Okay.
Yo, there's a South of Midnight preview embargo that lifted today.
What are people saying, Brad? What are people saying?
I'm just looking at some of the headlines. South of Midnight mixes a beautiful setting with familiar gameplay, and that may be for the best. I feel like that's not a good thing to say.
Ooh, that sounds like a 78 to me.
Or like South of Midnight, unique world backdrop, solid character action.
Ooh, solid.
Yeah, those aren't the kind of words you want to hear in a preview.
Yeah, you wouldn't call your girlfriend solid, you know.
Yeah, I hope that game works out for them. But you know,
oh my God. I mean, yeah. I mean, like I'm excited for that game, and I'm hopeful for that game, but I am not confident enough in it to have like drafted it or bid on it in Fantasy Critic for sure.
It's not Fantasy Critic bait, but I mean the kind of thing you want necessarily. But we'll see. No, what I want to mention was, what did I want to talk about? Oh, I've been thinking about Kenton says he's going to send me a his old graphics card. It's not, the 5090 Super or whatever the fuck you're looking at, Nick, but it is a graphics card with DLSS. So hopefully that'll help when I'm trying to play Avowed later this month. That is the big game that I'm looking forward to besides Yakuza and Monster Hunter, which are also those. And I think there's like some big indie game I want. I feel like if Slay the Spire 2 drops, that literally might be the game that would make me, truth be told, I would probably play Slay the Spire 2 over Monster Hunter Wilds right now.
What?
I mean, obviously,
what is wrong with
obviously
you?
I'd play both. Obviously, I'm going to play both, but I'm saying like I potentially would be more addicted to Slay the Spire 2. So I'm hoping that's not going to launch anytime soon, but I still play that game every fucking day, and I am as into any given run as I was into I
mean, Slay the Spire a top.
You're every
10
bit as in love as you've always been.
Slay the Spire, what?
A top 10 of all time, sort of.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. But also like Monster Hunter World is, I think so. I have to think about my top 10 list, but those would be the two games for sure.
So it's a busy month. But
yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be playing Wilds like crazy.
We're gonna be playing Wilds like crazy, right? That's the plan.
Sure.
Yeah,
we gonna be playing some Wilds.
As much as it's kind of a dirty word for a Monster Hunter game, you did hit credits in Rise and Sunbreak. So
yeah, twice. I hit credits in Rise twice actually.
Well, yeah, credits.
I'm just saying, hey, I'm in it. And I've had two people at work ask me to explain Monster Hunter to them. And I was like, I'm not a Monster Hunter expert, but I can tell you this, because they were both like, I tried playing it and I just didn't get it. And I was like, look, I understand. I get it. I was that person too.
I was like once.
I was like, it is not a game you can just jump into by yourself and hope to figure it out. You need somebody who knows what they're doing to like take you through the first few hours of the game at least to get you familiar with it, because otherwise it's not going to happen. And they were like, oh, that's good to know. And it's like, yes,
it is exciting, and I will be playing lots of multiplayer, but I do usually play multiplayer like in the post game. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, it'll be sicko mode for me for sure.
Sweet.
Damn.
All right.
February. I guess I'm just hyped for February.
Chris Davis.
Well, all of y'all are going to be playing Monster Hunter Wilds. I'm going to be the only one that's going to be playing Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. That's okay, though.
No, you're not. I'm going to be playing that too.
You'll play it for 2 days, and then you'll get lost in Monster Hunter and won't touch it until August.
It comes out a week before.
Yeah. You'll play it for 2 days. He'll be playing it
for a week before.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. Likely, you're probably right. But I mean, what is that? I mean, who cares? You finish games in like a weekend, anyways.
Yeah. How are they on these like Yakuza spin-offs? Is this worth being excited about?
Pirate Yakuza?
Yes. Yeah. It is worth being excited about.
They're like 1,000% like
the man who erased these spin-offs are where they kind of have fun and experiment with stuff. The man who erased his name, like the combat system, is insane.
He has absolutely insane. Kiryu has jet boots.
he's got like secret agent gadgets.
Yeah.
I mean, he can summon drones. Yeah, no, Pirate Yakuza looks absolutely insane. And Majima, you played him in Yakuza 0. He is up there with the best of the best Yakuza
the Mad Dog of Shimano.
Oh yeah.
He's in English he's played by Matt Mercer, actually.
Yeah.
and in the original Yakuza, he was played by Sorry, it's been a long day. Luke Skywalker.
Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill. Yeah. Really?
Yeah, he's the voice of
Wow.
Like, is he doing like a Joker thing with it, or?
No, well, yeah.
I mean, he's got the laugh a little bit.
I mean, yeah, he is crazy back then, but he's not as crazy as he is these days. I mean, he was crazy, but he wasn't voiced as crazy as he is now, I feel like.
Yeah. He wasn't Flanderized yet, you mean?
Well, yeah.
Well,
what are we talking about here? Are we
my 4-player minute? Mine?
Mine. I'm sorry.
Chris Davis was in the middle of his. I haven't even gone yet.
Chris Davis is going to be playing Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii.
Cool. Yeah, I will be. But I'm not. I'm also thinking about like loading up some weird fucking shit because I usually do weird fucking shit. At least once a year, and I didn't do that last year. I'm kind of past due. So I gotta find something
weird fucking shit.
I don't know, like something I found on like Woot or like GameFly for like $5, and just fuck it, I bought it. Like I bought Eternights like 6 months ago and never played it.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it was like
the kind
$8.
of shit David was talking about a few weeks ago. Eternights?
Yeah.
That's like a blue reflection level of deep cut.
I mean, yeah. I'm just saying.
Why do you have that?
Because it was $8 on Woot. Because why not?
Who buys shit off of Woot?
What is Woot?
Woot used to be this. It was bought out by Amazon years ago.
It was a rhetorical question, by the way.
It was a website where they only sold one thing per day for a while.
Oh, that thing! I forgot about that thing. Jesus Christ!
Yeah, they do sales all the time, and they do a lot of.
I got an idea. If you're gonna play something gooky, why don't y'all play 1,000 times Resist? You fucking losers! You
better say sluts.
Bums. Bums.
He was gonna say sluts.
I bought it for the Steam library for you guys.
Yeah,
Krispy,
I know.
And we thank you for it,
Brad.
I look forward to doing it.
I installed 1,000 times Resist.
It goes down smooth.
Oh, that's
beautiful and fully voiced. And
that's right. Thank you, Brucey.
Intriguing.
I used the Game of the Year recordings as an excuse to actually install Suicide Squad. So I'm actually going to give that
Evangelion,
a little shot.
Okay.
What about Evangelion?
1,000 times Resist. Whatever. Just fucking move on.
Anything else you want to add, Chris Davis?
No. I think I've had enough people talking about my 4-player minute, so it's okay. Yo, go ahead. Go ahead, Nick.
Brad's. That's all Brad.
What are we talking about?
We're talking about you and not letting Chris Davis get a word out during his 4-player minute. That's what we're talking about.
He says so many things, and we've heard him say so many things. What are you talking about?
You could mute your mic.
Oh my god. Okay. My 4-player minute starts now. Like Krispy, I'm going to also not talk about video games in this moment in time.
You're going to talk about Star Trek Next Generation?
No, I'm going to talk about... Well, I'm going to talk about my Star Trek Next Generation. I'm going to talk about, of course, Dexter. Dexter, man. We are one episode away from the end of Original Sin.
Oh, shit.
And it's so good. It's like, it was like, when this was announced, and I was like, in my heart of hearts, I was thinking to myself, I'm going to like it. I'm going to enjoy it. But there's a good chance that, like, it's not going to be for a lot of people. And it's not going to be great. But everybody seems to really be fucking enjoying it.
Is it so good that you can, like, retroactively go back and say, look, I was over glazing New Blood a little bit?
No. Wait, what?
Wait, I mean, you got it. You're always at 10 for Dexter, so it's hard to evaluate what is actually...
I'm not. I actually like there are 2 seasons of that show that I legitimately don't like.
Yeah, but that
he will go so far as to 8.5. That's as low as he'll go.
Look. Here's the thing. I am like all in on Dexter, obviously, right? But like I'm also not to toot my own horn here. I'm so like well versed in Dexter. I can tell you what is good Dexter versus what is bad Dexter. And like, you know what I mean?
I don't know what you mean.
I do.
It's probably the same way with Star Trek. You know what I mean? Like he can tell you like I like it all, but like here's the good stuff, and here's maybe the not so good stuff.
Recommend that you watch the first season of Star Trek Enterprise, but like
what's better, this Original Sin or New Blood?
I mean, It's tough, man. It's tough. Yeah. I mean,
Which one is more like
New Blood
Star Trek Voyager?
New Blood is much darker. Original Sin is very much tapping back into like season 1 of the show, where it's like much lighter, darker. It's dark comedy, and it's like vibrant. It's Miami. It's
you
back.
Just said lighter, darker in the same word.
I said New Blood is darker.
Yeah.
And I said the first season is tapping back into like the dark comedy of the original
dark comedy
season, like the it's a lighter tone, but it's dealing with dark subject matter, right?
Okay.
Whatever. The point is, like, this could have failed in so many different ways, and it's been pretty damn phenomenal so far. And people seem to be really excited. Everyone's hoping for a season 2 announcement at the end of after the finale is done. And I never thought we'd be here, honestly. I thought people were going to be kind of like...
Are these like mini series? Like, is there going to be like a season?
Oh, what just happened?
Season 2 Original Sin, or are these just like one-shot seasons?
New Blood was a mini series, so it's a one-shot. Original Sin, we don't know yet. We're waiting. I think they were waiting to find out if people like took to it. But
there is going to be another.
Now there probably will be.
But Resurrection, which is the follow-up to New Blood, is multiple seasons. That's starting in June.
Be a Harrison
Speaking
show?
of which, no, that's Michael C. Hall show. That's Dexter.
Just continuation of Dexter.
It's just a continuation of Dexter with more Dexter. Harrison is back in it.
It's not the spin-off prequel.
Batista is back.
Batista.
Yeah, and they just announced casting like for like new cast members for Resurrection. Peter Dinklage is I don't think it's confirmed yet, but he's.
You know what this reminds me of?
It reminds me of Uma Thurman and Peter Dinklage.
Uma Thurman.
Wow. You know what it reminds me of? They realized that Michael C. Hall was the golden goose, and I think they knew that, right?
Well, of course.
It's like when Vin Diesel came back to Fast and the Furious, like when he was briefly gone from it.
Right.
And now they're like, okay, we realized we fucked up, and now we're going to bring back Vin Diesel, and we're going to double down. And
they've been
I feel like that's what they're doing with Michael C. Hall.
No, they are absolutely, but like they did something really smart, because Original Sin was like people were kind of like giving it. They were like, I don't know about this because it's a whole new cast and everything. And then they came out and they announced Michael C. Hall is going to be doing like his inner monologue, and that shit works beautifully. Like having new face, young Dexter on screen, but when you hear his inner monologue, it's Michael C. Hall, and it sounds like he's kind of like recounting his younger days. It's
Do you think Michael C. Hall had a number, or do you think he really was just like, I'm good?
Oh, I'm sure.
And Showtime just showed up with the dump truck full of money and was like,
"Oh yeah,
God, no one gives a shit about Harrison. Please, God."
No. Look. Michael C. Hall is definitely doing it for the money, but I will say this: even he's been doing it for the money for a long time with Dexter. Like he could have probably stopped that show like a long time ago. He also
stopped doing it for the money after 6 Feet Under,
but he's also. He doesn't phone in his performances, even when he's doing it for the money. Yeah, like he's always great. He's
a consummate professional.
Yeah, he's
a consummate professional. So that's all that matters.
Okay.
But anyways, yeah, I just wanted to talk about that because it's what I think about a lot now. And the finale.
So you're happy you got what you wanted out of this?
Yeah, no, and I want more. I didn't think possible. Like they're setting up so much interesting shit. To enrich the core series.
Wait till they bring MODOK into the
MODOK. Oh DCU. My god! No, if they make MODOK Darren Cross, then you know.
Yeah.
Then you know they fucked up.
All right, guys, we've reached the end of our show. Thank you so much for listening once again. It has been fun, but we'll catch you next week on next Tuesday night for another episode. Of course, in the meantime, you can find us in Discord at discord.gg/4player, and you can find all of our podcasts on your preferred podcast service or 4playernetwork.com, whichever you prefer. But yeah, thanks for listening. And in the meantime, guys, be good to each other, play video games, and good night.